You're here on a very special day. We are welcoming today Ken Draughon, his wife Libby, and their two sons, Davis and Will. Davis, Will, there they are right down here. Davis, 16, Will, 14. You guys want some airtime? Nothing like stage time. Welcome, you guys. We have been praying, believing, and searching these past few months, knowing that God is faithful to His promises and preparing someone who would come to be our next associate pastor for music and worship. And we're so thankful the Lord has given us the opportunity to cross paths with Ken and Libby and their family. And I've had an opportunity, as you well know, these past many weeks to spend a lot of time with Ken and just to learn his heartbeat. Ken and I were actually in seminary together, right? We didn't realize that. He was there from 84 to 87 at Southwestern. I was there from 84 to 87. He was in the School of Music. I was over in the School of Theology, so we never crossed paths. But you know, he's got the cool look. You know, these guys over in the School of these guys in the School of Music and School of Religious Education, those guys are going to be youth ministers. They just look cool, you know, and us guys over there in the School of Theology, we're in our slacks and our briefcases, you know, trying to look real serious. Our kingdom kits, as we called them. But we're so grateful that Ken is here. He's a graduate of Samford University in Birmingham. And this wasn't, it really wasn't a criteria, but he is an Alabama football fan. And it didn't hurt, but that really wasn't the criteria for bringing him here. And so it's nice to have another Roll Tide guy on board here. But Ken, we're so excited about this day. I woke up at 2 o'clock this morning, so excited about this. And he's had the opportunity to meet with a great many in our music and worship ministry already. But Ken, you and I want the folks here to really kind of hear your heartbeat. You know, whenever you're planning worship and you're praying about it, you're planning, you're preparing, and you think about the people who are going to be in front of you on Sunday, what's kind of your objective? What goes through your mind in all of that? And I know that's a big question.
Yeah, it's huge because you're trying to connect people with this really huge, awesome, amazing God that we have the privilege of worshiping. But then it becomes pretty simple once you get past, oh my goodness, this is a daunting task. And that is, Ephesians 4 talks about, through the Apostle Paul, that we as ministers are called to equip the saints to do the work of the ministry. And so the project then, the plan becomes, okay, who has God sent to this place and how has He creatively gifted them to lead the body and direct the body in worship through this journey of worship so that we could get to know Him, we can experience Him, we can engage with Him. And I have sort of adopted a philosophy that's a little bit different than a lot of guys. I'm not the guy. I'm not a star quarterback or anything like that. In fact, when I play basketball, I play point guard so that I can distribute the ball to the people that are really gifted and let them go off and do their thing. And I love playing that role, and I see that as my role here in the midst of leading a congregation in worship and those that God sends to partner with. But the end game is ultimately not to give everybody a spot. The end game is that we can be transformed as we engage this almighty God. And those of us that lead, as we've already talked about, that we are conduits of His grace and reflectors of His mercy and His power.
That was one of the things that really captured my attention about Ken, is this Ephesians 4 model of equipping the saints to do the work of the ministry. Because any ministry that is built around a personality, that's built around the charisma, the personality, the wherewithal of any one individual, that is going to be a very limited ministry, because any one person only has so much personality and so much charisma and so much wherewithal. And so a biblical model, as he's described in Ephesians 4, is equipping the saints to do the work of the ministry, helping people to identify their gifts, equipping them to use those gifts in the life of the church. In fact, that kind of jumped off at me whenever I'd watch DVDs of Ken's worship services. They were so unique and so creative that when you watch them, you would really have a hard time saying, well, that guy is the worship minister. because he had so much going on, so many people that were participating in that. And Ken, we look forward to that very creative and biblical model that you have embraced. Ken has besides his credentials, he has so much practical experience, and that's one of the things that has stood out to me. I mean, you think about First Baptist Church in Hurst, you think about Dunwoody in Atlanta, Georgia. You think about Bentry in Carrollton, Berean Church in Lincoln, Nebraska, and now First Baptist Church Lubbock. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, Ken, why First Baptist Church Lubbock?
Well, initially, Lubbock has this big, huge attraction for us. We, as a family, love the beach at the Gulf of Mexico. We love that. And we also love the extreme of that in the Rockies of Colorado. And we understand that Lubbock has both.
Yeah, we do.
So
that's what I told him.
We can't wait to see those. We can't. It's going to be fun. But seriously, as we understand and have answered the call of God in our life to embrace Jesus' creed, to love the Lord our God with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and then to love our neighbor as ourselves, we have seen both of those just in the brief time that we have known you and the people of First Baptist Lubbock. We saw it first through the testimonies and stories from Scott and Sheila Carlin as we've walked with them and talked with them about their ministry here for a while. But we have seen how First Baptist is so bent on connecting people to love God with all their heart, soul, mind, and strength, finding their strengths and then using those strengths to impact both the body and to glorify God in the midst. And then the other piece is that you're also so missional, trying to reach out to not just the broken and not just the hurting and not just the marginalized in this community, which is amazing, which is what God's called us to, but also to allow that reach to go all throughout the world. And our family is stoked about the opportunity to partner with a community of faith like that.
And we're glad you guys are here. One more significant issue. Several of you participate in our young adult basketball game on Thursday night. That is a very significant event in the life of our church each Thursday. And that is a very serious game. And I guess the big question is, knowing that Scott Carlin takes great pride in his three-shot ability. I mean, we always hear about that. And he kind of goes on and on about it. I guess I'm just curious, can you handle him on the perimeter?
Well, Scott is one of my dearest friends in all the world, and Paul admonishes us when we're in relationship with people we love that we should speak the truth in love. And so the best way I know how to answer that question is, Scott, you're going down.
That's good. All right. All right. I think we've found the man.